And everybody, welcome to It's All Black and White TV. And yes, you may have guessed it, it's the Dynamic Duo Show with myself, Tony, and John Sinclair himself. How are you tonight, John?
I'm great, Tony. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad at all. So, guys, if you like what you see, please hit the like button. It really does help push the channel up the search settings and helps the channel get found a lot easier as well. Also, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so. And also the bell notification, and that allows you and tells you when I put a pre-recorded video on or I become live or any upcoming shows as well. Sorry for the lateness, but we just had to wait for John to finish off his tea. I was going to a couple of comments we've got. Mighty Mag. First I put that on, but yeah, Mighty Mag. Hi, John Tony. Got a few shock results with Germany getting beat. Hope we don't get a taste of it. Spain getting 7. Yeah, we'll come on to that shortly. Hi, guy. Pick is it blurry or is it me? I don't know. I think there's been some problems between StreamYard and YouTube today, so maybe it could be down to that as well. If it's down to that, that's out of our control, unfortunately, and we can't do anything about that. But let's hope it's absolutely fine. And Alan says, evening, Tony and John. Evening to you as well, Alan.
Big up, big.
Yeah, guys, just as I got in tonight, StreamYard did say that they were having some issues with YouTube. So if the video doesn't look properly or whatever, if it's doing a bit blurry, as Mighty Mac said, then obviously that's out of our control. Can't do anything about that, unfortunately. It's obviously a YouTube thing, and but yeah, we'll sort that one out. So yeah, guys, I mean, didn't have a show yesterday, but you know, as you can imagine, on Monday I did a marathon of 4 shows, starting with a breakfast show, then a match warm up, then a half time analysis, and then a reaction. Your reaction one didn't even last an hour because I got the stage, I was knackered, and I just said, look, I'm gonna have to call it a day. But
yeah,
so sorry about that. It was only a short 50-minute one. But yeah, the World Cup's thrown up some indifferent results of late, hasn't it? I mean, you know, we've had the second lowest ranked team in the competition, which is Saudi Arabia, because obviously Qatar's the lowest ranked. Saudi Arabia turning over Argentina 2-1 after Messi put them ahead from the penalty spot. And also, you know, we've seen some quite indifferent results. I mean, we saw Denmark draw with Tunisia. We've seen Croatia today draw with Morocco 0-0 as well. But we then saw Germany taking on Japan. Now, obviously not a game I've seen, but I did hear that Japan actually scored very early in the game, the first minute, and then it was ruled out for offside. But then Germany got a goal from the penalty spot, and then the second half, Japan come back and won 2-1. So yeah, another. I mean, people are saying it's a shock result, but I wasn't too shocked by it because I think Japan have got some decent players. But I think Japan have got some decent players in their squad. You know, they're not a bad team at all. You know, I mean, they've got Tomiyasu who plays for Arsenal. You know, they've not got some bad players. And Japan have produced some great players over the years. I mean, I remember a guy called Honda who played in Italy as well in Serie A and was absolutely dynamite, wasn't he? I mean, I can't remember if it was AC Milan or Juventus he played for. AC Milan, there we are. And I remember he was a cracking player, he was. But yeah, so they've always produced good players. But for them to get that result today, I mean, I don't think it's a great Germany side, though. I mean, I did see a little bit of it when I was having my lunch break this afternoon. I saw the bit that Muslera put one over the bar when he should have scored, really. But, I mean, John, what's your thoughts on that result today? Germany won, Japan 2.
I saw a little bit of it today at work, sort of thing, yeah, just the first half. And I missed the Gurjan goal and I missed all the goals. But I saw the highlights as well. And I tell you what, their second goal, mind, Japan's second goal was absolutely fantastic. Great first touch, go in the box and he just slammed it in and moved from the net. And listen, at the end of the day, I mean, you just said it there. Japan have produced some great players over the years. Players like Nakamura plays for Celtic, and you also play with Regina in Italy. For those who don't know, and Hitoshi Nakata, what a player that guy was as well. Beautiful player in the midfield. He got Miura as well, still playing football at the 50 plus. Bless him. And you also got as well, you mentioned Keisuke Honda as well. He used to play for Milan. And they have, I mean, Japan players have got some talented players coming through as well. You got Tomoyasu as well. And, look, Tony, don't diss out Japan because they're a fantastic team. They really, really are. They're athletes. They work for one another. Their energy levels is great, and they work hard for one another. They're no mugs, Japan. They're really not. And to tell you something now, right? For them to beat Germany, right, was absolutely fantastic. I mean, that's one of the biggest shocks in the game. It's not the first time that Germany got beat by an Asian team. South Korea did it to them in the last World Cup, yeah. So Germany got problems taking on these Asian teams as well. But big up to Japan, by the way. I thought they played their tactics as well to system, obviously for straight Germany. They had chances, by the way, right? And it was a master stroke by their coach as well, by the way. He's done absolutely brilliant, turning that game around. It goes to show, right? Trying to beat these lesser teams or hammer them, they're long gone. Because I tell you what, these players are fitter, better, their tactical know-how, and that's why Japan beat Germany today.
Yeah, absolutely, John. I mean, you can't knock teams like this. I mean, I said to somebody at work today, I says, Japan will probably win that. And he's like, don't be daft. I don't think that. And I said, don't be surprised. And, I was right. Japan won it, 2-1. So it just goes to show, don't discount these teams because just because they're a lesser side. I mean, they probably, I've not seen the game, but they've probably thoroughly deserved that win. But if you can't, but Germany's obviously had chances, and if you can't put your chances away, then you don't expect to win a game. Sorry, that's the end of the day. I mean, it's like it was like us against Crystal Palace. Isak should have buried that chance. Yeah. Don't put your chances away. You don't win games and you don't score goals. So it's clearly that. And if Germany hasn't took their chances and they've missed chances, then what do they expect? But yeah. I mean, I'll just go back to a couple of comments, matey Mag. You guys putting loads into this. Deserve a day off, guys. Hope you're feeling better, Tony. Yeah, no, I'm absolutely fine. Yes, I was just absolutely shattered on Monday night. I think when you do a marathon like that, it takes out you, plus the game as well. And my voice is still sort of recovering a little bit now from it because obviously shouting every time we scored. So, yeah, it's like when I've been to the football match and my voice sort of breaks up and goes. Gary says, good evening, Tony and John. Evening to you as well, Gary. Hope you're well. I mean, yeah, this is going to be a funny World Cup now, isn't it? I mean, we've just seen Spain tonight there win 7-0 against Costa Rica. And their goal scorer he's the third youngest in the World Cup to score. He's obviously 18. I mean, okay, Spain's beat Costa Rica 7-0, but let's be honest. Costa Rica ain't the same team they used to be years and years ago. And Keylor Navas, who's in goal for them, is getting on a bit now as well. I mean, yeah, okay, 7-0, you got to look at that. The big test for Spain will be when they come to play Belgium. And that will be a test. But, I mean, John, what was your thoughts on that game? Spain 7, Costa Rica 0.
Excuse me. I didn't see it. And look, I mean, I fully expected Spain to beat Costa Rica. Look, I mean, Foxy said that Costa Rica are a tough side. Yeah, I've always thought Spain had the class and the skill to beat this team. And that's exactly what they've done. And it's no surprise that Spain beat today because they knew what happened with Germany today getting beat. Spain had to lay a marker in that group, and that's exactly what they've done. And they won 7-0, and I mean, again, that I think it's been a great professional performance by Luis Enrique's men as well. I mean, look, their second goal, for what I've seen, was a cracking goal, Alessio. Cracking goal, by the way, cracking finish. But look, I think Jade is going to be so delighted that a national team has won that game. But let's be real. I mean, Spain needed to win that game. And I tell you what, that puts pressure on Germany now. Because if Germany loses to Spain, they could be going out of the competition, you know. They could do.
Yeah, absolutely, John. I mean, I'm just going to cut in here because obviously Belgium are playing Canada, and Canada had a penalty after 9 minutes, and Alphonso Davies stepped up for it, and it was superbly saved apparently by Courtois. So it's still Belgium 0, Canada 0. So Canada have missed a penalty in that game.
That's a big miss for Canada. That's a big miss. Yeah. You've got to take those chances to come, or they will punish you as well. And listen, at the end of the day, one thing I'm going to say, and look, you got to take your chance as it comes. If you don't, you get punished.
And last night's game as well, the game before the France game, Poland versus Mexico, game 0-0 draw. Poland should have won that game. Don't know what Robert Lewandowski was doing when he was taking that penalty. I mean, he didn't even hit it with any conviction or power. He tried to place it, and Ochoa got the right way. I mean, this guy, the goalkeeper for Mexico, 35 in his 5th World Cup, you know, I mean, amazing performances that is. And I mean, you know, he pulled off I wouldn't say it was a terrific save because it was more routine for him to get down to it. I thought the penalty was poor from the quality of play of Lewandowski. I mean, again, I think that's Poland's missed out there.
Yeah.
I mean, if they'd won that game, they'd be one step closer to qualification. I mean, to be honest with you, at the end of this, all it takes is Saudi Arabia to win another game, and then say, you know, and then obviously Poland to win or Mexico to win a game. Argentina could be facing the exit door. So,
yeah,
because they've both got a point now, Argentina's now got to go out and beat Poland and Mexico to qualify. And if they don't beat either one of them, they're out, John. I mean,
absolutely.
Would you see the Saudis going through? Could you see the Saudis pulling off a win against Poland or Mexico?
I want to put it past them. If they beat Argentina, I don't see any reason why they can beat Mexico and Poland, right? But have they caught Argentina on a bad day? Possibly. But Argentina knows exactly what they do, yeah? They will bounce back. They've got some quality players. They're no mugs. You got like Messi, Lautaro Martinez. You got players like Paredes as well. He can create as well. And you got Di Maria as well. He's been so vastly experienced, yeah. Not as good as he was, but he's vastly experienced as well. But I tell you something, right? I mean, I think Scaloni is going to be under huge, huge pressure to win these games now, because if they lose the next game, then they could be going home. But the one saving grace of Argentina, that Lewandowski missed that pen, and the game ended 0-0 each. So Argentina are back in it. They can get a draw, but as long as Saudis win their game and they go through, and then Argentina will have to win their game. In fact, I think they need to win both games, to be fair. They're capable of doing it, but I don't think their defense is that great. I mean, Otamendi is their weak link, yeah? And Kuhn and Christian Romero. I keep saying Kuhn. It's Conte Romero, right? That guy, I mean, he's a decent defender. I know that. But at the end of the day, they need to be staying on side, especially Martinez. He needs to be staying on side more. But that's why they lost the game, because it's just poor defending from Argentina. You know, they're a tough side. And it's a shock to the system to them, man. I mean, they've been undefeated to 39 games. It goes to show, right? And you mentioned it, World Cup and Messi doesn't go together. But we all know what Messi can do. Now we have got to see the best of Lionel Messi if they are to go through the next stage.
Yeah, absolutely, John. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just gonna, it's just one of those. I mean, a couple of big guns could go out in the first round. I mean, losing that when you lose that first game, it puts you on the back foot and it puts you under a lot of pressure because you then know you've got to try and win the next game in 2 games to get through. I mean, so pleased England won the other day. I mean, we've got the USA on Friday. I've heard some people say, "Oh, well, this will be a tougher game than Iran." Yeah, maybe a bit tougher than Iran, but I'm looking at the USA and thinking, actually, there's nothing there to be frightened of. I mean, yeah, they've got a little bit of pace up front, but they're dodgy at the back. I mean, they looked brilliant in that first half, and the only reason they looked brilliant was, by the way, wasn't because USA were brilliant, because Wales made them look brilliant, because Wales was so poor in that first half. They made the USA look like Barcelona. But in the second half, once they brought Kiefer Moore on from the start, I mean, that was a brave move from Rob Page to do that, but he put him on, and he changed the dynamics of that game completely. And I know you shouldn't say one player can change a team, but he did change that team basically. And they then just turned it round. And I was sort of thinking to myself, I was thinking, well, come on, you're getting there, but you're not getting this goal. I was thinking, why don't they bring Brennan Johnson on? Bit of pace against the USA defence, because that defence isn't strong. And I thought, stick Brennan Johnson on. And then he came on, and I mean, his ball went through towards Bale, and then Tim Ream just put his leg right through between Gareth Bale's legs. And I mean, Tim Ream, he's 35. He should be experienced enough to know that if he does that, he's going to give a penalty away. But he still goes and does it. And what happens? The referee points a spot. And VAR have a little glance and say, yeah, that's fine. That's a penalty. I mean, so to be honest, I don't fear USA. I think what we need to do is we need to get off to the start again like we did against Iran. We need to start off attacking at them. And if we can get an early goal, that could lead to a second goal. And who knows, we could be 2 or 3 up by half time if we play the way we did the other day against Iran. Let's stop being ruthless to teams. That's what we need to be, ruthless. And don't sit back even if we're 3-0 up at half time. Get back out there and keep attacking, because the more you attack them, the more you score, the more not only do you boost your own goal difference, but you're also denting their goal difference and making it harder for them to go through. In case Wales and Iran draw, or say Wales beat Iran, for instance, then the USA in the last game against Iran, even if they beat Iran, not only they've got to turn over that negative goal difference into positive, but then their positive goal difference has got to be better than what Wales is to get them through. So, and for England to have a positive goal difference now of +4, you want to turn that into double figures if you can by the end of the 3 games, and then you're going through, because nobody's going to beat that goal difference what England's got anyway now. I mean, I don't think Wales are going to go out there and thrash around 6-2. I don't think they'll even beat around 4-0. To be fair, I think it may be a 1 or 2-0 to Wales, or but I don't know. It depends what Iran turn up on Friday. I mean, judging by the way they are in the, I know they sort of played a bit, but judging by the way they were on Monday with the national anthem not singing it and things like that, I just wonder if Iran aren't really interested in the tournament and they're not really bothered. But we'll find out on Friday how Wales get on. But the thing is, though, Wales have got to play Iran, and this is important, this is key, at 10 a.m. in the morning, which is 1 p.m. Qatar time, when the maximum heat temperature is out there. I mean, when you go away on holiday, John, they say to you, don't go out in the midday sun between 12 and 2. Wales are going to be out there between them hours of 12 and 2 because they're going to be playing at 1 p.m. and then they're going to kick off again at 2 p.m. Iran will be used to that heat. Wales won't be. So that could be a difference. I mean, Iran could beat Wales, who knows? But as a home nation, you'd like to see Wales beat Iran, you know. I mean, your thoughts on the USA game on Friday, John?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm looking forward to that game on Friday now. Like, I mean, look, I'm reviewing it to win it, like, you know, but I fully expect us to win that game against the States. I don't think, I mean, look, they've got energy in the team, but I wouldn't say they're world class. They would not. They've got some good players in there, like I said to you yesterday. Wilson McKennie is a quality player as well. Timothy Weah, he's nowhere as good as this dad, George Weah. George Weah is a legend of the game, right? Let's be honest. And, you know, there are some good players out there. Pulisic when he's fit, but we should not be scared of the United States. We shouldn't, because we're better than them. Pound for pound, we are better than them all over the pitch, yeah? But at the end of the day, right, I mean, Tim Ream, right, he mentioned there, he's a weak link in the back as well. I don't think he's that great. I think he is absolutely not good at our sort of thing. Just got a bit of breaking news from Daily Mail. Now, Kane's ankle scan confirms no serious injuries, but Gareth Southgate must decide whether to risk him from the start against USC on Friday. For me personally, I start with Callum Wilson. I rest Harry Kane for this game, 100%. But listen, at the end of the day, right, I mean, we're gonna have to play a good attacking football as well. All we got to do is just make the United States whittle a little bit, yeah? I think it's going to be a physical game, this game. I really do. But England will come through. I'm going to say 3-0 to England because, look, we're better than them. And we're going to wrap this game up in 90 minutes to make sure we qualify for the next round.
Yeah, I totally agree, John. I mean, that's what I'm thinking, 3-0. I mean, I watched that game and I watched Wales' second half, and the way they come out in that second half firing, the USA didn't look a great team at all. They looked very ordinary, and Wales made them look ordinary. Wales should have won that game by rights. I mean, Kiefer Moore, that one, he just put over the bar. He should have scored with that. He just put too much on the header. If he just took a little bit off the header, and it would have gone in no problem. But the fact is, he just put too much on the header, and it went over the bar. But, you know, but yeah, there's nothing to fear in that USA team. I mean, I know they've got a bit of pace up front, but you stop them up front and play down there into their back four, and they're vulnerable. I mean, even DeAndre Edlin come on the other night, our old ex-right back, you know. But he's not the player he used to be either. I mean, he's getting older now, isn't he? So,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see a problem with us winning that game. Say 3-0 or whatever. It'll be an interesting one, that's for sure. I'll just go into some comments. Leslie says, evening all. Evening to you, Leslie, as well. I hope you're well. Chris says, Costa Rica were barely on the pitch. More like a practice match for Spain. Yeah, that's what it looks like, doesn't it? Mighty Max, it's possible Wilson could be starting Friday due to Kane may be out on the world stage. Another two-in player. Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is, though, I mean, Callum Wilson will love it against that defence. Mighty Mag also says Saudis could go through. I'd love that. Saudi only needs 2 draws, and I think but 1 win would see them through. Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
Gary says, you are the weak link. Goodbye, lol. Talking about Argentina.
Yes.
Foxy says, I knew Croatia wouldn't beat Morocco early game. European teams can't handle it early. Absolutely spot on, Foxy. The heat they can't handle. He says, Wales won't even beat Iran. But Mighty Max says, I reckon we will smash the Americans.
If you want to see us on Friday, I should be in Lothel. I think it's a Black Horse in Lothel. So I'll be in there, watch the game with us. So if you're from Lothel, pop in, have a drink, and get to see you. I think it's a Black Horse tournament, isn't it?
There we go. Sorry, John?
No, I think it's a Black Horse. Is it a Black Horse? I think that's the name of the
I
pub.
think
like,
so, John. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's a
Yeah,
long
it
time
is.
since I've been in Lowfell, John. Yeah, long time since I've been in Lowfell. But yeah, I think it is. I think it's a Black Horse. But yeah,
So
I
we'll be
mean,
going in there.
yeah. Currently at the moment, it's 0-0 with Canada and Belgium. So currently 0-0 at the moment, and yeah, I mean, this penalty, John, it's a poor penalty. I mean, he's trying to put down the middle.
You can't
That's what
do
he's
that.
trying to do.
That is crazy,
Yeah.
man. Just get in the corner, man, and blast it. Look at Gareth Bale's penalty the other day. Fantastic penalty. Big up Gareth for that penalty.
Oh no, he didn't. He put it to the side, John, but Courtois got down and saved it. It was a weak penalty. It wasn't very great either. And was too far in the keeper's. Yeah, the keeper's. Yes, had no chance in that going in the back of the net. So it's his own fault, really, isn't it? I mean, Mighty Mag says, from the bell, know the Black Horse very well. There you go. So Mighty Mag knows it very well.
Brilliant stuff.
So there we go. So, yeah. I mean, yes, we were talking last night, obviously, on your show about some early transfers, like left wingers, things like that. I mean, I've seen a report today that PIF do want to bankroll us again in January because they want us, because as far as they're concerned, if we're in this top four, they want us to stay in this top four. And they're willing to push the boat out to get players in to make it happen. Now, we've seen Eddie Howe coming out and saying that he's a bit concerned about financial fair play. But I don't think we're going to be stupid enough to go well overboard because everybody we've bought so far has been sensible signings.
Absolutely.
And signings for what we've needed. I mean, to be fair, it all depends how much we want to spend in January. But I'm sure PIF, Amanda Staveley, Jamie Rubin, I'm sure they've all looked at this. I'm sure they've got lawyers on the case looking at this and probably saying, right, or even financial experts saying to them, right, this is how much you can physically spend before financial fair play starts coming in. So, I mean, they'll know the figures. They'll have all the figures in front of them. They know how much they can spend. It's okay, the media saying, oh, yeah, they can spend this, they can spend that. They're just speculating what we can spend. But technically, we'll know ourselves what we can spend. And if the media want to be surprised by it, then let them be. I mean, I was talking on Monday about this guy, and I've seen further reports that apparently we really want to try and take this guy in January. And that is Marcus Thuram of Mönchengladbach. Now, he's out of contract in June next year, 2023. So by the time January comes, we can either A, give him a pre-contract agreement so we can take him free in the summer. But by reading between the lines, PIF just want to get him in regardless in January. Now, you might be able to tempt Mönchengladbach to say 10 million because I don't think they could ask for more than that, not with somebody who's got 6 months on that contract. I mean, how much would you realistically pay for this guy in January, John, who's only got 6 months left?
I think probably around 10 million for this guy because I don't think Mönchengladbach would want to lose the money at all whatsoever on the fee. But there's all the I said this yesterday as well. I mean, I might have said it yesterday. There's other clubs after him as well. You got Inter Milan wanting, Napoli want him as well. But according to the Corriere Calcio, I don't know how reliable they are in Italy, sort of thing. But they consider defeat that they're not going to get Marcus Thuram as well. But don't forget, Marcus Thuram was born in Parma in Italy, by the way. He's French, yes, but he was born in Parma in Italy because Lilian Thuram used to play for Parma at Juve as well. And yeah, he was born there. But he is French. He plays in the Bundesliga. Right? But I think Marcus Thuram, I did rate him at first because he didn't score enough goals, but this season he's been on fire. He's been on fire this season, this guy. He really has. And I tell you what, right? I mean, if he does come to Newcastle, right, I feel there'd be competition. You know what I mean? That'd be bye-bye Chris Wood. I mean, not just Marcus Thuram could play out front, Tony. I said yesterday he could play wide on the left as well. So that's quite handy.
You can.
So very handy. So you get a player, 2 for the price of 1. Well, 2 plus of 3 buying somewhere if you're going to wait for that. But Turan on the left, Miguel on the right, and Isak or Wilson up top. That is such a team that can interchange between the 3 of them. No problems at all. But I'd take Turan, no problem, especially if he's on the 3. And, you know, I think he'd be decent. Add competition up front. You don't have to spend millions and millions of pounds, you know what I mean, to get this guy, you know. But saying that, would you take Marcus Thuram? I'd say yes, especially on the 3.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer, John. I mean, you know,
I like him.
Take him, yeah, and see what he can do. I mean, you know, I'll bring up something on screen now. So if you just bear with me, guys. So there we go. Marcus Thuram. Okay, so he's 6'4", so he's a big unit. 25 years of age, right-footed, but you can play him on the left. Shirt number 10. It says 31 million euros, but because he's going to be out of contract, you're going to get him a lot cheaper than that. So as you can see on here, he plays left wing and a striker. Now, in his last game against Dortmund, he got a 6.7 rating, but that's his heat map. So he's he's most on the midfield area there. Likes to play in that half. He can come back and backtrack as well, but mainly he plays in the opposition's half. So this season, 15 games started, 15 played. He's been in Team of the Week 3 times as well. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to get there we are. And he scored 10 goals in 15 games. You know, that isn't bad. And his goals from inside the box are 10 out of 52. So he scores from inside the box pretty well, but he can score from outside the box. He's got 3 assists, 34 touches per game. You know, his accuracy is 73% per game. From his own half, it's 86%. And the opposition half, it's 67%. Chip passes, he's not very good at, but he's a striker. What do you expect from a striker?
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, you know, he looks good. He's had 2 yellow cards this season, so he's not a player that gets sent off or anything like that. And yeah, I mean, looking at that, that's not bad stats. Yes, it's Bundesliga, and I know a lot of people think, oh yeah, that's a different style of football to what we have in the Premier. But the thing is, but we've seen what Eddie Howe does with players. We have seen it. We've seen it with Joe Linton. We've seen it with Mickey Almiron. We've seen it with Sean Longstaff. You know, he can get players in and he can make them better than they actually are. So Marcus Thuram coming in, even if he has a couple of slight issues somewhere that need ironing out, Eddie Howe will get that sort of ironed out, and then it'll be crease free, and you'll be like, boom, there you go. You know, so it's nice things to look at that way. You see, I mean, I've got some comments here, so I'll go through them. Mighty Max, see an article from the Shields Gazette online about Castor and Darren Eales and talks, but sounds like seeing the contract through, so it may still be here next season. Story online if you look. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens on that one. Anything can change on that. Anything can change. Aaron says, all right, lads, finally sat down after work. I hope you're all well. Yeah, we're absolutely fine, Andrew. Hope you're well, mate. They'll see us, big ups, man. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Big up to you as well. And Gary says, goodbye, Chris Wood. Goodbye, Chris Wood. You are the weakest links, lol. Well, yeah, if Thuram comes in, that could open the door for for him to go. I mean, I'll just show you something on screen as well. Okay, so here we go. I mean, I'll just show you some little clips, but this is Marcus Thuram and the sort of things he can bring to the team. So you'll see some goals on here and some assists probably as well. I mean, this guy can play. I mean, he looks quick as well.
I tell you what, he is, isn't he?
He is, isn't he, John? He's quick, isn't he?
Look at the strength on him, guy. Wow. Bosh.
The size of him, John.
Wow.
Oh, look at that. Finish. Oh, that went over the bar, that one, John. But yeah, unlucky. But yeah, that had been a good finish if it had gone in. But he's got strength.
He has, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He could sit it off us a lot different, do you know what I mean?
Oh, look at that.
What a header. Wow.
Yeah, keep our word saving that. All that.
Nah chance.
And that's a tight angle as well where he's took it in.
Oh, what a movement. He's a finisher, and he's a finisher, isn't he?
Isn't he? Yeah.
He's a finisher.
I mean, as cool as you like. Look at that.
He's away, isn't he? Left and right footed.
And that's against Bayern Munich, by the way.
Certainly is. I'll tell you what, though, right? If he does come to Newcastle, I think he'd probably be a starter over Callum Wilson, I believe. Do you know what I mean? I reckon he'd start over him, man.
Yeah, I think he could do. I mean, he would be. I mean, this guy. I mean, he could be as good as what Isak is, you know. And I'm just wanting to see. I just hope if we do bring him in January, that we do get him in January, and he can help us stay in, maybe either in the top 4 or around there anyway, at least. But it's going to be interesting. And if it's 10 million to get him through the door, then it's worth every penny, isn't it?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, go on.
I mean, guys in the chat, I mean, seeing that little bit of video footage, I mean, of Marcus Thuram, if you want to see more, go on YouTube and have a look and just look him up. I mean, what do you think of what you've seen so far? Do you think he would fit right in at Newcastle? Do you think you'd be a gem under Eddie Howe? I mean, let us know in the comments, you know. Like John says, yeah, he didn't have the greatest starts when he went there, but he's getting better and better now, and he looks the real deal now. I mean, Alan says, does fair play rule apply to Liverpool or not? Not with Klopp, it doesn't know, because they have a Klopp time, don't they? Foxy says, I want Wales to do well, but it's just the time of the game, and Iran have Azmoun fit to start, and Taremi is pretty lethal. Yeah, Taremi is lethal. I mean, he scored that goal against England. That was a hell of a goal, Foxy. And I mean, no keeper was saving that regardless of how much we like to have a go at Pickford, but no keeper was saving that. And yeah,
Taremi, yeah. I mean, he said he's a talent. He's 30 years of age. That guy's 30 years old. He's just turned 30 back in July. So, and if his name is Mehdi Taremi, looks a good player, by the way, at 30 years of old. Plays for Porto, and I can't get up his league form, by the way. I wish I could, but I just cannot find how many goals he scored in the league. But he has scored plenty. His contract ends in 2024, and he's got a good goal, brilliant score record for Iran. And in club football, he has scored plenty of goals, by the way. So, would you still sign him? He's 30. And he's got a modified 20 million euros.
I don't think you'd cut in the Premier League, John, if I'm honest. I'm not sure if he would.
I think he left it too late, to be fair. Like, you know, he should have done it at an earlier age, sort of thing, you know what I mean? But Thiago Silva came to the Premier League when he's 35. What a player that guy is.
Well, I've got stats here from John, and Mehdi Taremi, 13 games he started this season. He's been the team of the week 3 times. He scored 6 goals and 5 assists. Bearing in mind that's a Portuguese league.
Yeah, that's very, very true. But he still scores. But if it comes to the Premier League, it's a different kettle of fish. But it's a tougher league altogether.
Yeah, it is. Andrew says, I don't think the greedy 6 have rules, Alan. Gary says, get him in on Marcus Thuram. Yeah, absolutely, Gary. He looks a player, doesn't he? Like does. I say, guys, after the show, whatever, check him out and have a look. I mean, he looks the real deal. Mighty Max says, how would the club reply if we got offered to join the Super League? I hope it's something like off. They know we get 52,000 every game. That's juicy to them. Right, let's get things straight. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Before Amanda Staveley come into the club, she was asked about this sort of thing. And she said, look, 1, we haven't bought Newcastle United yet. And 2, if we did own Newcastle at the time, we would have said no to it because we are not interested in joining any Super League whatsoever. We want to compete in the Premier League. We do not want to lose our place in the Premier League. So the owners are straight away saying that there is no way we will join the Super League. So I think we can all say that our owners categorically won't do it because they would know if they did that how much we would protest, and they wouldn't risk that. Not when they're on good terms with the fans as well and doing all the right things. Why would they all of a sudden risk a Super League? So I would say no to that.
Tony,
I mean, John, what's your idea?
I'm going to make this perfectly clear, and I said this way back. If Newcastle went to the Super League, I'll be done with football because that's not what we're here for. The Super League is just another way of making money. Do you know what I mean? And they tried to get the Super League in before they shut the door on the Premier League. Yeah. And they got fined for that as well, but it wasn't enough. But I do not want Newcastle to be in the Super League. In fact, I don't want the Super League ever to assist because at the end of the day, it's all about money all the time. So Juve, Real Madrid, and Barca, you're on your own if you still want the Super League to happen, right? We do not want to be in it. The fans will see the day. The fans have this day, right? It happened with Liverpool, right? They're the one who wanted it. Badly wanted it because the Americans wanted it, but the fans made sure it didn't happen. So they had to listen to the fans, right? But I think, right, if they do have the Super League, the Champions League will have to go. Yeah, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. So keep it as it is. Forget the Super League, right? Not interested, not in the slight interesting thing. And I think people on the chat will probably agree with us. If there's a Super League to happen or Newcastle get in there, I'll be done.
Yeah. Absolutely, John. I mean,
I wasn't bought like that.
No. I mean, the feelings I was having as well, John, while we're trying to get through this takeover. I mean, I was sort of hoping, right? I hope this takeover goes through. I think because I was starting to get disheartened. I thought, if we don't get this takeover, if this takeover gets refused by the Premier League, then I was like myself, I'm done with like Premier League football and that. And I would rather go and watch non-league Gateshead if I was honest,
At least.
But thankfully, and I say thankfully, we got the stage, we got the takeover, so our club was. But even so, John, we would have gone down if we hadn't had that takeover. And where would we be now in the Championship? I would say possibly bottom half of the Championship, if I'm honest.
Yeah, and so would I, because I have to agree with you all the way. Because look, we'd be relegated under Steve Bruce. Mike Ashley will not sack Steve Bruce. He'll probably give it a new deal, right? The stadium is going to be about 15,000 in the stadium, right? And fair play to them for turning up back in Steve Bruce, right? 15,000, right? And our club will be ended like Sunderland. We'll be in oblivion as well thanks to Mike Ashley, because he does not care about Newcastle United. He doesn't give a flying toss. I said this before. Lee Chandler still be there. Justin Bonds will still be there. Yeah. And there's Cornish as well. And let me tell you something, right? I mean, thank God I kept my season ticket, because another season I would have probably given up, because I do not want to go through another season with the Ashley Boost era, right? But I knew, keep no season tickets. The takeover was going to happen eventually, because we take them to court, and the Premier League would have lost that, by the way. The reason they give us a takeover, because they did not want to be humiliated in court. That's the only reason why. They were beaten before the takeover. They think, you know what? Forget it. Let them have the takeover. They're not happy about it. But look at the difference, Tony. Look at the difference, man. Howie. They're Fred and Sybil, right? They don't like it. Oliver Holt don't like it. All the press doesn't like it. TalkSport don't like it. Okay? No matter what they say. Jamie O'Hara, big up to Jamie O'Hara. He's on our side. I like Jamie O'Hara now. I never used to, but I do. I think this guy is balanced. Yeah? Jason Cundy, I'm sorry, but he has some up it. He didn't want to take over to happen in Newcastle United. Yeah? But here we are. The fans are happy. We're getting sellouts home and away every single week, right? And I hope one day we get that stadium extended. I really love to see that stadium extended one day. Do you know what I mean? Don't move away from Newcastle. Build an extension. But where could be an extension? Who knows? But it's going to be European football's on its way, baby. Which one's going to be? I hope it's the Champions League.
Yeah, absolutely, John. I mean, you know, you look at that case last year and that hearing. I mean, it was not long after that hearing when the takeover went through, because the hearing was on the Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember. Was it Wednesday now? I think it was a Wednesday. Yeah, because I was on day off that Wednesday. And I watched it all. And then on the Saturday, that's when things started taking a turn. When people didn't know what was going on. That was when we were playing Wolverhampton Wanderers in that pouring rain when we lost 2-1. I mean, and all the fans were devastated because they thought, oh, what's going on? We're going to be in the bottom by the time the takeover goes through before the arbitration in January.
Yeah.
We're going to be, and Keith Patterson said at the time that Robert O'Donoghue, who, by the way, is the top barrister in the country on anti-competition law, kept saying to Keith, Newcastle need to get the CAT hearing done before arbitration. CAT hearing done first. You won't need arbitration because you'll get your takeover. But Ashley could have had the takeover a year earlier if he'd only listened and took it on there and then.
Exactly.
But he kept putting it back, and eventually took notice of Keith and said, okay, I'll take it on then. But and big up to Keith Patterson for that, by the way. Sticking by his guns, him and his mate. But, the saying apparently, obviously, once also Saudi Arabia did that deal with beIN Sports and said, look, we'll pay you some compensation because they had the BOQ box in Saudi Arabia. So they paid some compensation. And apparently once that compensation was paid as well, that sort of helped secure it even more that we were going to get this takeover. And then there was rumours. I remember there was rumours flying around. It was on the Wednesday and that, and that we could be taken over. And I'm thinking, well, I don't believe this, because I'm thinking we've had too many false dawns, and people are like, oh, no, the rumours are high. They're high. Everybody on social media. And then it came on the Sky News on the night time, and it says, oh, there's talks that the takeover could go through tomorrow. And I'm thinking, really? But I was off on that Thursday with the takeover, so it was absolutely fantastic to be off that day. And I had Sky Sports News on all day, and I was like, come on, where's the statement? And it took like literally 5 o'clock at night before the statement come from the FA Premier League. And then obviously we heard Keith Downey say the funds have been transferred and the shares have been transferred from Ashley to the new owners. And it was like, right, that's it. It's done now. Mike Ashley, gone. Income, Manda, PIF, and Jamie Rubin. So, absolutely brilliant. I'll just go into some comments before I go into the next thing. Foxy says, Turan, decent and on form right now, but not for me. He says, this season is his most prolific. He's matched his career best of 10 league goals. Maybe if he had a history of bagging goals for fun, but he doesn't. Yeah, good point, Foxy. But then again, under Eddie Howe, who knows? He could improve his scoring record. That's the thing. We just got to trust the process, as we say. I like coffee. Good evening, John Tonino. Good evening, Mr. Emery. How are you? Gary says they got fine peanuts. Yeah. He says they got fine peanuts. Yes, they did, Gary. I mean, the fine that they got 3.3 million. I thought that was disgusting. That was, again, more corruption for the Big Six, because they should have been given a points deduction in my eyes. They should have all been given a points deduction, and then that way it would have been like, boom, you don't do it again. But I think if they ever tried again, I think they get expelled from the Premier League, and that's what will happen. Ali Coffee says Steve Bruce could be Coventry's manager. Yeah, well, Mike Ashley hasn't bought Coventry. He's only bought the stadium. The Coventry City Football Club's owned by somebody different. So Ashley actually just owns a stadium that they rent. But I see what you mean. Unless he went and bought Coventry, then yeah, he probably would. Well, Stu isn't here, so Bruce out, says Andy. Mighty Mac, seen the pics on Twitter. Club ripping out carpets, doing the Platinum Club up. Go see owners doing small jobs in mid-season that can be done and more investment. Yeah, I saw that as well today. I saw Dominic Sker's report as well in the Gazette. Yeah, they've been taking carpets out, and there's they've been redoing the Platinum Club, putting new carpets in and everything. So absolutely fantastic. Just shows you how good they are. Our new owners. Alan's in the house. Alan McMurray. Canada, look, good team. Nice football. End ball lets them down. Yeah, they should have scored that penalty, shouldn't they, really? I mean, terrible. LA Coffee says, I'm happy to see the smaller teams in the World Cup cause upset to the big teams. Makes the tournament more exciting. Yes, I totally agree with that. I love seeing a shock. You can't get past that. And Chris says, Canada should be 4-1 up. Wow. So they must be playing really, really well. They must be playing Belgium off the park at the minute. But wow, that's absolutely brilliant. Well, so
take your chances. You got to take your chances as well, you know.
That's it, John. If you don't take your chances, you don't score. It's exactly what I said earlier on. Right, Isak against Palace, you didn't take your chances, don't score, you don't win games. Simple as.
Correct.
Okay, so yesterday, Manchester United come out with some double news. First of all, this man, Cristiano Ronaldo, the same mutual agreement between the two clubs, between the two parties. Probably more like Cristiano Ronaldo being sacked. So he's now a free agent. He's not come to Newcastle because I do not want to see him in a black and white shirt. And I don't think he will come to Newcastle, if I'm honest. I think he could end up either back at Sporting or even in the MLS with David Beckham and Phil Neville into Miami. And then also the two guys on the right, that I would say the two Ronnies, or whatever you want to call them, the most hated owners. Well, Man United fans think they're the most hated owners, but I would disagree with that because I think Mike Ashley is probably the most hated owner. They've now decided, let's put the club up for sale. And they're wanting £5 billion for this football club as well. Apparently there's a lot of interest. A lot of it could be Middle Eastern interest as well. I mean, I spoke, the boss at work, he's a Manchester United fan. I was speaking to him about it today, and I said, first of all, I'm Cristiano Ronaldo, so I got a Man United fan perspective from it. I said, what did you make of his comments, his interview? Do you think he was right to do that interview, or do you think he's totally wrong? And he said, you know what? He says, I absolutely back him 100%. And I said, oh, right, okay then. He said, I thought he was very truthful in his interview. yes, he slammed the Glazers, but he's never liked the Glazers because he knows what they're like. And he said, okay, yeah, he spoke out against the manager and that. He says, but at the end of the day, all he's done is spoke the truth, and now he's out the club. He says, so it might do the club some good. But he says, in other terms, he says, but I think he was right to say what he did say. And I said, right, okay. And I said, so you're happy with that? I thought, right, okay, fair enough. That's great. And I says, what about getting your Glazers out now and having them selling the club? And he said, that's a fantastic move. He says, best news, he says, I've ever heard as a Man United fan in the last 15, 16 years. He says, to get rid of them. He says, because they've been nothing but trouble. He says, and the club's declined. He says, but how can they ask for 5 billion? He says, when the club hasn't won a major trophy. And I said, well, yeah, exactly. And he says the stadium's in a lot of disrepair as well. So I said, right, okay, then fair enough. So I mean, so he's given us his sort of perspective into this anyway. I mean, I think we were just gobsmacked yesterday. I mean, I think we were gobsmacked. The news came out. Well, I think we knew the news of Ronaldo was coming out anyway. We knew that was going to happen because as soon as I said they were talking to their lawyers, you knew straight away, they're looking to get rid of him without having to pay him off a contract fee. And that's exactly what it is. But when they actually come out with the news that they were selling the club, that was even more interesting because if you remember, John, on your show last night, I actually broke the news because you didn't know about it. And I said to you, oh, John, there's some breaking news here. Can I just put in? And I said, oh, Man United's up for sale. I think you were a bit shocked by that at first. I mean, John, what's your thoughts on the two events that's happened in within 2 hours of each other, basically? Because within 2 hours of Ronaldo's contract, Man U were up for sale.
Take it away, John. It's just like Coronation Street, isn't it? You know what I mean? This should be called Coronation Street, right? And listen, right? I mean, no surprise Ronaldo had to go. What he did that interview, Piers Morgan, right? He had to go because the fact of the matter is, right? They really hated that. They did not want to be embarrassed at what happened, right? So they decided, you know what? We're going to pay him off now, terminate his contract. I mean, Ten Hag must be over the moon. He must be happy that he is away because he doesn't have to deal with the Ronaldo problem anymore. Do you know what I mean? He must be happy. Now he can get on with it. He can just get on with it and mold the team that he wants, right? Having the Ronaldo circus behind him. But at the end of the day, I think he should have kept it till the end of the season personally. And let's hope carry on the mess they're in a minute. Sorry, mate, if you're watching, right? But now...
But Mansell makes a good point, John.
He did.
He says, I bet John Scott, his hero, no longer plays for his favourite club. What do you want to see at the Mansell?
Hey, Mansell, listen, man, I'm not a red. Macy is a red. So you got the name wrong. It's Macy. He's a straight club, you know. Wow. That's what I can say. Wow. But I'm not surprised. I mean, look. I mean, are they doing that now because they've given up? They're giving up on top four? And as for the owner suite, to say that and to try and sell the club on the very same day, they think, hang on a minute, I don't fancy this. We're not going to get top four now. So they decided they want to get out before he gets in a messy ass sort of thing. You know what I mean? But the club is still a mess because they put that football club billions upon billions in debt, right? Since Alex Ferguson left, right, in 2013, they have to go, 4 or 5 managers, am I right? They have to go through David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, right, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, then went to, who's that one, Austrian lad? Oh, man, enlighten us. Oh, he's
what
just
manager?
He's just taken over Austria. Ralph, what was his name? I'll come to in a bit.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Rangnick.
Yes.
Ralph Rangnick.
Rangnick, that's the one. And
Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph, that's it. And now it's Ten Hag. That club should not have to go through 6 managers since Fergie left in 9, yeah? that football club's a massive club, right? It's a huge, huge football club, right? That football club should be winning 5 league titles in every decade, right? But they're not doing it because the club's in a mess and the players are there aren't good enough, yeah? Thinking about the money. Yes, they bought Casemiro. What was he? Coming on 31. Don't get us wrong. He can get away with it because that guy is a brilliant midfielder. Base it around him, yeah? He must be thinking now, why have I left Real Madrid to come here? Why? Do you know what I mean? But because just one last payday, maybe, or Real Madrid fleeced United out of 70 million quid, they must be laughing now. They must be laughing. Now they've got Tuchemeni and Canavidia, the 2 young French players there. Spot on. Great players, yeah? They probably say, who needs Casemiro when they've got the 2 young French players through the door? They're going to get Jude Bellingham, by the way, as well in the summer. I can see that happening. Ralph-Nick as well. Wow. I tell you what, Ralph. Though. Wreck-It Ralph. Oh, man. He must be thinking, I'm going out of that football club as well. Do you know what I mean? Because, look, you know, he wasn't bad as well. He was just a sporting director. That's it. That's all he was. And
yeah,
I tell you what, right? And also their sponsorship, their sponsorship could be pulled out because of the way the club's being run. Yeah, they were just so embarrassed what's going on in a minute, and they'd be likely to be wasting money. So they got a review on that. That football club, I'm sorry, it's in a complete and utter mess. It is. And I don't care what people say. I mean, Ten Hag's doing a good job there now, but I hope that we finish above them at the end of the season, and Liverpool and Chelsea, and then we get top 4. But at the end of the day, they got to come to us in April. Liverpool's got to come to us in February, win those games. Then they got to take us seriously. But that football club's a mess, man. And that's why the Glaciers has had enough. And I think United fans are happy about that as well. But I hear as well that Jim Ratcliffe, he is the owner of Nice Football Club in Ligue 1. He's interested in buying a football club, but they want 9 billion quid to sell the club. And the cost of living crisis in this country is going to make it so difficult to get that money.
Yeah, absolutely, John. Absolutely. I totally agree. I mean, before I go into comments, guys, if you like what you see, please hit the like buttons. It really does help the channel go up the search settings and makes it more visible and finds it easier for other people to find the channel as well. So please smash the likes, please. Also, if you haven't yet, then please hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so. Helps the channel grow. And also the bell notification that lets you know when a pre-recorded video goes on or I'm coming live or any upcoming shows as well. So thank you very much for that, guys. So I'll jump into some comments here as well, and we'll see what comments we've got on at the moment. I mean, LA Coffee says, did anyone see the Saudi fans singing and dancing to Free From Desire? No, I haven't seen that, but I bet that was great. They had a day off today, didn't they? Because Mohammed bin Salman says it's a national holiday in Saudi Arabia.
Absolutely.
Mighty Max says, will Eddie be looking for some secret hidden diamond at the World Cup? I'm sure Eddie Howe's watching every single World Cup game. I bet he is. I mean, you know, I reckon he will be. Evening, lads. Hope you're both well, says Mansell. Yep, we're absolutely fine. Thank you very much, Mansell. Alan Mercury says, he's no caricature for the tune Ronaldo. No, he isn't. No, not at all. We don't want him at Newcastle.
Not having him.
Gary says, was it double news or double trouble, lol? Yeah, absolutely. And he says character. Yeah, it's obviously predictive text. Ali Coffee says, Man U fans are divided about Ronaldo, but some are thanking him for calling the Glazers out. The others aren't happy with him at all. Yeah, exactly. And we read that one, which was Mansell saying. Foxy says, Thuram depends on the price. Same with Jonathan David. Both decent enough players, but for the price tag, not for me. David needs 10 chances to score one. Yeah, I mean, thing is, Foxy, Thuram's out of contract next June. So you could either wait till June and get him on a free, or you could put a cheeky £10 million bid in January and sneak him out of there. So, yeah, I wouldn't pay 30 or 40 million for Thuram, if I'm honest, though. LA Coffee says Avram Glazer looks like the Penguin, the villain from Batman comics. Man U owners, the Glazers look like Bobby Charlton's. Why does Mike Ashley not buy Man U? Because Mike Ashley couldn't afford Man United, that's why.
And not only that, he's good. I'll tell you what, the way he traded to Newcastle, he's going to do exactly the same thing at Old Trafford. You know what I mean? They would not be happy at all. He's only worth like 4 billion, 5 billion, and he can't afford it. He's at Coventry now, isn't he? So,
yeah. LA Coffee heard the Man United fans want the Saudi owners too. Yeah.
I tell you what, though,
one.
I tell you something, right? If that happens, we'll be coming an eye on that one and see how quickly that club gets taken over by the Saudis. You just watch.
Yeah. Matey Max says, I saw a news story. Some guy bet in Australia bet something like $94,000 on Argentina to beat Saudi. Hope he hasn't told his missus. Oh dear. That's
dearie me.
Oh God. But there again, I suppose though, John, it'd probably be one of them. You'd say, I put my house on that to win now, because you wouldn't have thought Saudi Arabia would have turned over Argentina. But there you go. Shocks happen. Chris says, great show, Tony and John. Thanks, Chris. Gary says, I still think Newcastle will go out all out to win the league, lads. I would love to go out and win this league this season. But let's see where we get. Let's see where we'll end up.
I think we're going to spend big in January. And people's going to say that we're not going to spend that much, but I'll tell you what, we are going to spend on about three or four places in January where we are. People didn't want to come to Newcastle because they probably think we're a lower grade team. Look at the league table now. Look how many games we lost this season. We've got a young manager, right? With dynamic players in the team. We've got a back four that defends properly, right? We've got Bruno, is world class playing in Brazil. Joe Linton changed his career, right? Joe Willock is back to his best. And the front three, Miggy, what a player this guy is. He is sorted out. He is sorted. Most sought after winger in the game. You got Callum Wilson and Isak when he's fit. He's going to score goals. And then ASM, when he's getting them put it together, bang. He will be absolutely brilliant when he gets fit and also start scoring goals again. So we got a team there, Tony. Fix it up, sort of thing. We will not be far away.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mighty Max has agreed, Gary, this window will tell us either way. I like coffee, theatre, Sports Direct.
Yeah.
Mason. Hi, Mason. Hope you're well, mate. He says,
big up, Mason.
You said we to us, so you are a Man U fan, John. You said we.
No, I'm not. I said Macy.
Mansell says Dan Ashworth and his team is at the World Cup looking for some gems, apparently. Hopefully finds some and gets them signed up. Yeah. In some ways, I suppose, well, I'll say that, but the World Cup's it's a weird time. Chris says, Jim Ratcliffe wants to buy Man U, but he only has 13 billion. He's a pauper. Aren't Man U in debt too, says Ali Coffee. Yes, they're still over 600 million pound in debt, which basically is the 600 odd million that they took out as a loan to buy the club 17 years ago. So there you go. I mean, it's just an absolute. Ridiculous. I mean, I mean, guys, get your comments in the chat. We're not going to come out with this statement now. I mean, so we've seen Liverpool go for sale. Chelsea's on the decline down the league. Liverpool are down the league as well a bit. So Liverpool have gone up for sale. John Henry, the Fenway Sports Group, have put that up for sale. Man U sack Ronaldo, then put the club up for sale 2 hours later. Right, guy, you're commenting. Do you think Liverpool and Man United are scared, and that's why they've had to put their clubs up for sale? Because they're frightened, because Newcastle United has tumbled through them this season, and because we're sitting third, and we could stay in that top four this season, we could even get close to that title this season, who knows? But the thing is, are these clubs now scared of what we're doing at Newcastle United? And is this why they need to sell their clubs? Because they cannot compete with us no more. They cannot compete financially with Newcastle. Get your thoughts in the chats, guys. Let us know what you think. I mean, personally, I think we have rumbled the big six, the so-called big six. We have rumbled them, and they are not enjoying what we're doing at the moment. and they're worried to see what's going to happen in the future. And I think that's why they're selling up. John, give me your thoughts on what I've just said.
You know what, Tony? You're absolutely right. I mean, they are rattled, clearly rattled, and everyone's going to agree with us in the room. By the way, look, Man United, right? Wants to put this club up for sale. Yeah, how could they get their money back? I don't know. That'd be very interesting, right? But we are going to keep an eye out how quick that club gets sold, right? Liverpool, right? I mean, they don't spend a lot nowadays because they cannot compete with us. Let's be real, right? They're rattled as well. I mean, you look at the players they've got. I mean, their midfield are in the 30s, right? Henderson, Fabinho was 29, I think he is, right? James Milner as well, and Thiago as well, all in the 30s, alongside the 30, by the way. A lot of fun. They got Mo Salah. He's not having a great season, but he's still getting the goals, like as well. Luis Diaz, he's going to come. He's going to be a player, that kid. He's going to be some player, him. Right, he's a young lad, and Firmino's still doing bits as well. But Virgil van Dijk, by the way, he's 31, not the same player at all whatsoever. He's certainly not for Sven Botman, by the way. But Chelsea, he said they're in the decline. I don't think that Chelsea looks a good team at all whatsoever. I think Graham Potter's got a big job on his hands as well. Whether they want to play for him, that's another kettle of fish. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal doing well. Yeah. Man City doing Man City things on the Pep. You know what Pep style of beauty. He just loves to keep improving season out. And Newcastle have at United, Liverpool, and Chelsea at the minute. Had them for breakfast. But these people now can't compete. Oh, and don't forget Tottenham as well, by the way. Right?
Yeah.
They're doing well. But at the end of the day, right, you don't know what so it's going to turn up nowadays. But they're all scared of Newcastle. They cannot compete with us anymore. We go and get a player, we go and get them. Yeah. And we are going to spend big again in January. I guarantee you, we're going to spend big until we get a team capable of getting in the top 4 every single season. And not only that, we're going to mount a serious title charge as well. We will do, right? And I think it's going to be so excited. It's going to be so exciting for Newcastle, right? Give it a couple of years, and we are going to be top 4 regulars, and they're not going to like it. They're not. We as fans, Tony, as a fan base, deserve success. We suffered 15 years of Mike Ashley, okay? We suffered 15 years of Mike Ashley, yeah? And since he got a takeover, they hated it. Now, the fans hate us. They hate us. Liverpool fans hate us now because of the takeover. That's what it is. Do you know what I mean? But one of these days, we're gonna win. We're gonna beat them. We are gonna beat them one day. And I hope it's in February. I hope we smash them, right? And we could potentially put them out of the top 4 race. Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely, John. Just before I go on, guys, in the chat, I've just put a poll on the chat there for you. So the poll is, where will Newcastle United finish this season? So that's what the poll is. And you've got various options. You've got first, top 4, 5th to 7th, and 8th to 12th. So just before we end the show, we'll announce the results of that poll. But it's currently live at the moment. So, guys, get voting, and we'll see what the results are at the end of the show, and see where everybody thinks that Newcastle will finish at the end of this season. So there you go. There's something for you to do while we are on the show as well. So get voting, and your vote counts. So thank you very much, guys, in the chat. So Ali Coffee says, I think they failed to introduce a Super League, which they were banking on to generate funds, which is why they're pulling out. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Fair shout. That's a fair shout.
When does Man City and Arsenal go for sale, says Gary? Well, I don't think City will go for sale, and I don't think Arsenal will for a long time, but who knows? It all depends. Arsenal's having a good season, so I don't think they'll be in a rush to sell Arsenal at the minute. Alan says they're all shaking in their boots. Newcastle are on the way up. Yeah, Absolutely.
Yes.
I did say, and I've said this for months now, John, we are the juggernaut and we will come through them. And you were shocked when I first said that, but I'm right. What I've said.
You did. You did.
Mighty Max has hit the nail on the head, Tony, about Liverpool and Man United selling up. They know they can't compete. We are here to stay top 4. Wow. Well said, Mighty Mag. I like coffee. Man United invested in the wrong departments on and off the pitch, which was their downfall. Yeah, absolutely. And long may their downfall continue. Mansell says if we bring in 3 top quality players in January, I think we could possibly challenge for the title and maybe get to a cup final. My prediction at the start of the season, John will back me up on this. I said my prediction at the start was to finish 7th place. We'd get the FA Cup semi-final and we'll win the Carabao Cup. That was bold me saying that, but that is what I said at the start. And we're doing very well in the Carabao Cup, and there's no reason why we can't go on and win it.
Yeah.
I like coffee. Never consider Tottenham to be a top 6 club, to be honest. To be fair, what trophies have they actually won a lot of? Nothing really. Yeah, they should have won the Premier League when they were up there with Leicester. But guess what? Tottenham bottled it and Leicester won it. So, it's they bottle everything like that, Tottenham do. Mighty Mag, I only hope Bellingham doesn't end up at other Premier League rivals. I don't think he will do, to be fair. I think I've always said Real Madrid for this guy, and exactly what Foxy's saying. Jude should go to Real Madrid, ready replacement for Modric right now. Yeah, absolutely. Mason says John should do one asking where Man U should finish.
Wow.
I like Coffee's laughing at that one. Gary says, I've gone first, lads. Thank you very much.
There we go.
Says, John, who do you think we should buy? And I mean, we as in Newcastle United, not Man United.
I still think if you look at it, right, Thuram could be one of the buys as well. We definitely need a midfielder. Madison would be a great signing. Trying to be realistic here, but we could do with a left winger, which I've done yesterday as well. I mean, like I said, that Kvaratskhelia for Napoli is going to be it's not going to be a viable deal, not this season anyway. I think he'll be there next season and the following season as well. So for me, Gakpo would be good from PSV Eindhoven on the left-hand side. He's a proper winger, ready for the Premier League. I think that guy is brilliant. He really is. But personally, we'll wait and see in January. I believe in PIF. But one player will certainly not come to Newcastle, and that's Ronaldo.
Yeah. No, Ronaldo won't be coming. Not at all.
Nah.
There's no way I want Ronaldo at the club.
No.
Not at all. I mean,
done.
That guy can just go for me. I mean, he can go elsewhere, Ronaldo, but he's not coming to our club, that's for sure. Yeah, he's not coming at all, Ronaldo. So he can go elsewhere. I don't want him at the club. I don't think he'd be right for us. And he'd be better off going elsewhere, somewhere who's going to give him £500,000 a week while he can just do sod all. And he can have his egos and he can go into his one-offs and his rants and that. This is why when we were linked to Pogba, I was like, please God, no, I do not want Pogba anywhere near this football club. If you watched him at Manchester United, when games weren't going well, he went missing. That's not the sort of player you want in your team. Eddie Howe wants every player on the same wavelength, whether we're losing, winning, or whatever it is. Keep going. Like we did against City. We went behind against City and we came back because we kept going. We did not slacken off. Chris says, Ronaldo does not pass the NUFC dickhead test.
Definitely not. Oh, class.
I mean, we don't need anybody like Ronaldo, to be fair, at the club. I mean, it's just, yeah. I mean, yes, I would love to see Maddison in January, John. I mean, he would be the absolute signing And apparently we're very, very interested in getting Maddison in as well, by the way. So I would like to see Maddison come in. I'd like to see Diaby as well, because I think that would just strengthen the right-hand side as well. I think we just need to get somebody quality on the left just to push ESM a bit more. That's what we need, just to push him more so that ESM doesn't go into games being lazy. And I'm not saying he's lazy, but what I mean by lazy is not in the way that he's not going to play, but he could go into the team and think, oh, I don't really have to play at my absolute best because I know behind me the options aren't that great. But when you've got somebody on the bench who was either equally as good or just a little bit better than you, and you're keeping them on that bench, you've got to think, right, I need to keep a hold of this shirt. I'm not letting my shirt go. So they'll have to stay on the bench a lot longer until either I get suspended, have an injury, or lose form. And that's the only way you get in. But you have to have that quality on the bench just to push them, because if you haven't, then it's like it was like Dubravka was. I mean, when he was playing in goal, he was like, if I have a few bad games, it doesn't matter, because look who's on the bench, Darlow, Gillespie. They're not going to overtake me, are they? So, and that's why Dubravka at times was a bit lackadaisical. So, and that's why we brought Pope in to strengthen the goalkeeping. But Dubravka spat his dummy out and said, no, I'm going because I want to go to a club where I'm going to play football. Well, sorry, you've gone from being a number 2 here to a number 2 at Manchester United, or a number 3 in some cases. So his work's done. He's gone. He's finished. He's not come back to this club. And I'll be very surprised if he does come back to this club, to be fair.
Agree.
So we've got... lads, do you think we need a centre-back as cover for this? I don't rate the cells. We'll come to that in a moment. I'll just see what Mason's saying. Got to go. I'm on Proud Looks preview for Friday. See you later. Yeah, see you later, Mason. Enjoy your show, mate. And
good luck, man.
Good luck, mate. Good luck, mate. Enjoy it.
Enjoy the show. I love Pete.
He says, I mean, Friday. Coffee says, just worried that some players may not want to fight for their place and push and move to another club like Dubravka. Do you know what? I mean, Dubravka, what he's done now is he's basically said to Eddie Howe, I don't want to play here. And so what he's done is by saying he doesn't want to play here, he's now told Eddie Howe that he's not up for the fight. He's not up for what the challenge is now, what we're trying to do. So that automatically tells you he's not a good character to have around the dressing room. So Eddie Howe's like, right, okay, boom, off you go. But if Eddie Howe lets him, I know Eddie Howe's saying he could come back. Deep down, I don't think he will come back. And I don't think Eddie Howe wants him back, if I'm honest. He's probably just saying that just to make it sound good. Mighty Mac says Dubs won't be back. No, he will not be back.
He won't.
Because that guy has just he's finished, isn't he? I mean, you know, but yeah, oh, I don't know why that came up, but never mind. But yeah, I mean, I was digging through some photos, John, and I came up with a photo. Well, I found a photograph, and this is from about 10 years ago, John, and that's in James's Park, and it's me alongside this guy, James Perch.
Wow. He was decent, James Perch. He was a decent player.
Do you know what? He wasn't a bad lad at all. He was pretty good, John, and I like James Perch. I mean, you know, he's but yeah, I just came across that and I thought, oh, God, yeah, I forgot about that photograph. But yeah, nice lad he was, James Perch. I mean, he was happy enough to have his photograph taken with me, and yeah, top lad he is, top lad. And he's still playing now, believe it or not, as well, isn't he? So
I believe so.
Mansfield Town, isn't it? He plays for. He's captain of them, I think. So yeah, good
old
Pacino there. But yes. But yeah, that was about 10 years ago, John.
Wow, quite a while though, isn't it? I mean, it looks good there, but you know, he's done well for Newcastle. I mean, you know, did one of the better players at the club, part of the call at the back, and done well.
Yeah, he did. I mean, considering we only paid £1.5 million for him as well from Nottingham Forest, wasn't it? So
exactly, he's done brilliant.
And yeah, I mean, the guy hasn't done too bad at all. I mean, so yeah, I mean, we're looking at transfers for like, when it comes to like January, we've got the January window coming up. I mean, I know we were looking at, like, we've just had a question there about a centre half. I mean, still, if we can get him in January, this is the guy I want in January. Benayoun Badiashile, and then get rid of Lascelles.
Absolutely. I mean, he'd be my first choice centre back. No question about that. But I mean, Dan Burn can't go on forever as well. Put him on left back. Jamal Lascelles not good enough. I think he'd take over Fabian Schär's place, but Fabian Schär's playing so well at Newcastle at the minute. He stepped up. He has stepped up. Yeah, Dan Burn stepped up on left back as well. But Badiashile, I tell you what, snap him up in January, because Monaco has got some cracking players there. They really have. And they sold cracking players. They sold that to Muchemi to Real Madrid. And, they got some decent lads there, man. He'd be brilliant.
Yeah. I rate this guy highly, John. I mean, he's a terrific defender. He's got a good tackle on him as well. I mean, he's, he just oozes class as well. That's the thing. He oozes a lot of class. And I think sign this guy up, I mean, he's a terrific player of the ball as well. And not only that, he'd be the ideal candidate to take over from Fabian Schär, because Fabian Schär's getting on now, so he's over 30 now, isn't he? So this would be the perfect guy to bring into the team and have a partnership with Botman. And the guy's only 21. I think he's a fantastic talent. Guys, get your thoughts in the chat. What do you think about Benayoun Badiashile? You might not know a lot about him. If you don't, search him on YouTube. Have a look at some of his videos. He's an absolute terrific defender. He's a big unit, and he takes no crap, put it that way. So yeah, have a look, guys. I would certainly take him if it meant that Lascelles was going out the door. Because I mean, the talk is with Lascelles, PIF are looking for about £10 million for Lascelles. I mean, John, personally, do you think we'll get £10 million for Lascelles?
I think his contract's up at end of next season, 2024, I believe. For me personally, I don't think they're going to come and pay that money. But listen, he needs game time. He needs game time because it's a wasted squad team as well. For me personally, 10 million's gettable, but he's going to pay 10 million for this guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, John. It's like, who is going to pay 10 million for him? It's a bit of a strange one to ask for that sort of price tag on him, isn't it? But we don't know. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we've all talked. We'd like to see this guy in January. Madison, I mean, he would fit the bill perfectly for us. He could be a huge difference in pushing us that much further. Do you know what I mean? Johnny's what a player he is. And I mean, do you think, John, we're still going to get one of these two in January? So I'll put them on screen now. So the first one I'm going to show you is André Santos, the Brazilian. Is he going to come in from Vasco, or are we going to get Angelo Gabriel? I mean, which one do you think is going to come in? Or do you think we'll get any of them, or do you not think we'll get any of them at all?
I think Angelo Gabriel will be difficult because he's only 17 years old. He cannot move to a club until he's 18. And a lot of people don't know this, by the way. He's got to turn 18 before he moves clubs, yeah? That is the thing. And he's only 17. I don't know when he's 18, but when he's 18, he can move away from Santos. But at the minute, he cannot.
So that leaves this guy.
Yeah. He's gettable, right? He is gettable. But I think he'll probably end up going to PSG. That's just my guess, Tony, because yes, been linked with him, right? But PSG have got fantastic links with Brazilian players, young Brazilian players as well. And I think he may just end up going to PSG. That's just my guess. I hope I'm wrong. I'd love to be wrong. I've been wrong many a time, but I think at PSG Newcastle, I think he ended up choosing PSG because he'll get a work permit easier sort of thing as well. And I don't know how many, he hasn't played any caps for Brazil at all. That's another problem. So I think he ended up going to PSG.
Yeah, John. Oh, okay. So that's interesting to know. I mean, would like to see him come here, but obviously, if we don't get him, we don't get him. But you know, I'm sure there's plenty of other players we look for out there and see who else we can get in. You know, youngsters coming through from Brazil and things like that. I mean, Brazil's well known for a good production line of players, aren't they, John?
Absolutely. I mean, you look at Neymar. He was 18 when he went to Barcelona. And he came young, got some cracking players through. You got Vinny Jr., left Flamengo, I think it's Flamengo, into Real Madrid. I mean, you got some great young Brazilians coming through. Rodrigo as well, went to, I think he went to Leon, then he went to Real Madrid. I could be wrong on that. But at the end of the day, look, they have got some cracking young Brazilians coming through as well, what we've not heard of until they go to a big club like Madrid, Barca, PSG, you know. And look, I'm sure we're going to get some couple of Brazilians through the door. But you got another one there called Gabriel Barbosa as well, or Gabigol, right? He's 27 now. I think he's going to be impossible to get now. He's impossible to get because of his age. And it's a shame because he could have done it into Milan, but he went at the wrong time. He was young. He went back to Flamengo. We discovered goal touch. And here we are. But James Anderson, if you get that guy, I'll tell you something, he can make a difference of winning the title and top four.
Yeah, absolutely, John. I mean, you know, yeah, he could be the big difference for us. And I'd love to see him through the door. Maddison, definitely. I mean, he's got to be the number one signing surely in January. I mean, he's the type of player that helps you stay in that next level or take you to that next level, if you know what I mean, John. I mean, how do you think 50 million would tempt Leicester to part company with him? Or do you think it would cost more than that? Considering he's only got 18 months left.
I think I have to agree. I think Leicester needs to be careful, Tony, because if they price themselves out for James, then they're going to get a lot less than 50 million quid. But what they probably look at is Ryan Sterling. He went to Chelsea 51 million quid, 1 year left on his contract. The difference was he's won titles and cups, and Maddison hadn't. I don't think he won the league. Was he there when Leicester won the league? I don't think he was there. I don't think he was at Leicester when they won the league. But he's England international, right? And another thing is, you need to ask yourself, are Leicester City going to do business with us? And they probably consider us as a rival. But we're not, because we're in third.
We're not a rival.
I don't think, no, now we're not, because we're miles ahead of them. Miles ahead of them. We got to play them on Boxing Day as well. And I think Maddison will be fit for that as well, by the way. I'm sure he'll be fit for that. It depends how he does in the World Cup. But if he does play against us, I'm sure Sven Botman and Van Michel will look after him, by the way. He have in his back pocket and say, look, yo, you know what? You think you beat us, right? You don't want to play for Leicester? Come to us. We get top four.
Yeah, absolutely. We get top four if he comes. I mean, I'll just go to some comments before I go to the next player, John, that I'm going to have, that I would like us to sign. And I want your thoughts on him as well.
Yeah.
I like Coffee. Just worried that some players may not want to fight for their place and push and move. Yeah, we saw that one earlier. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Mighty Mag says Dubs won't be back. It backfired on them big times, lads. Can't see any of the loanies come back, Gale and company. Well, Gale's gone permanently to Stoke, so he won't be back. And since he's been at Stoke, he hasn't even scored a goal yet. So that shows you how bad a player he actually is. Even though he's in the Championship, where he's great at it, he's not firing at all. So, and Kieran Clark's on a season-long loan. His contract's at the end of the season. That won't be renewed. He's at Sheffield United. Matty Longstaff's at Colchester hasn't been playing a lot, struggling to get game time because apparently he's not playing well enough. So he won't be back possibly. So yeah, it looks like we're just running contracts down. And no disrespect to Paul Dummett, but I hope he's gone at the end of the season because he's not featured either this season. So at least we're getting rid of some players that we don't really need at the club. Great pick, Tony, says Mighty Mag. Thank you very much. Mansell says a versatile winger who can play both wings, a defensive mid and a left back or a striker for us to strengthen January. That's my thoughts, lads. Yeah, quite possibly. Mighty Mag be lucky to get 2 or 3 million for Lascelles. Sorry, lads. Yeah. The referee for Belgium versus Canada is the same referee who blew the final whistle early at the AFCON. Oh, Jesus. I'm surprised he's got a game in the World Cup then. At least there won't be 10 plus minutes of extra time, says I like coffee. Well, you might blow up before 90 minutes then. I like coffee made for the Premier League, says Mighty Magdalene, that referee. Hope our League Cup game is being streamed. Just renewed mine today. Money well spent. As far as I know, it's going to be on TV live. So yes, it will be on live. Apparently, Sky Sports are putting it on. So that's what they say at the moment. Things could change, but at the moment, it's Sky Sports who are streaming that live as well. And I like coffee says Denmark have revealed they are ready to discuss a blanket withdrawal from FIFA alongside with other UEFA nations amid the ongoing rout over the One Love armbands, say The Athletic. Right. So, and he says just one source news for this one. Right, John, before I go to my player, okay, so Denmark are ready to discuss a withdrawal from FIFA with other UEFA nations. So that's obviously European nations. So I'll be interested to see who that is. I reckon Belgium could be one of them as well. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting the way this World Cup is going at the moment because, right, you can't have that armband on, so you can't wear that. Belgium then have away shirts with love on it. Can't have that because it's got the word love, so you got to get rid of that. Then that training kit that they come out to warm up for before the game is multicolored. You can't wear that either because it doesn't fit in with the law of Qatar. Well, I'm sorry. This is a FIFA-run tournament, the World Cup. Qatar are the hosts. If they don't like what FIFA are doing, then they should have said, we don't want to host this World Cup anymore, and it has to go elsewhere. So they should have known about this. They knew well in advance of what was going to happen. And we're seeing all this coming out now. And if Denmark are going to pull out of FIFA, do you know what? I don't blame them. It might teach FIFA a lesson. John, give me your thoughts on what he's just said.
Yeah, I mean, he also says that there are more sources for this news now. Just checked.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go with you, Tony. If that's the case, I don't blame him at all because the way FIFA's running at the minute is shocking, absolutely shocking. You can't do this, you can't do that. Do you know what? Start you then. I want out because, to be honest with you, they don't. I bet you most of these nations don't really want to play in the World Cup. Claus said in the middle of the season. Do you know what I mean? They should have gone to elsewhere. Should have gone to America instead in the summer. That's no problem. Or even, it's a hard one, Tony, man. But one thing I'm going to say, I can understand Denmark and Belgium's concerns or the way it's going on in a minute, but it's not good. It's not good at all. And if they were to draw, I could see other teams going to do exactly the same thing because they just don't not like what's going on at the club. But it's not very good. I think it's a farce, Tony. It's an absolute farce. And I hope it doesn't ever happens again.
No, I hope it's a lesson learned this time, John. And we don't, no disrespect the Middle East, but it's probably not the best place to have a World Cup, if we're honest. Not because of any laws or anything, just because that would have to be played in November because you can't play it in the summer because it's far too hot. So, yeah, I mean, there's going to be more controversy throughout this World Cup. We can see it happening. Just an update on the game, guys. I don't know if you're watching it, but it's Belgium 1, Canada 0. Michy Batshuayi opened the scoring for Belgium. Apparently, according to Jermaine Genius, Canada have lost their way a little bit, and the whole game has just got scrappy. And he says they're just not playing right. He says they're getting into the good areas, but they just don't seem to put the ball in the back of the net. And Jermaine Genius also says, I don't think I've ever seen Kevin De Bruyne misplay so many passes either.
Oh, dear.
So De Bruyne is having a stinker of a game as well. So there we go. So next player I was thinking on, John, while we had that little debate there about what was said there. So next player on my list who I would love in January. I don't think we get in January, but I could say more realistically maybe in the summer as well, John. And this guy's worth about £40 million, by the way. And I think he'd be a terrific addition to our midfield. And he would help us out a hell of a lot. And it would get Bruno further forward. And it's this guy coming on screen now. Ajax's very own Mexican, Edson Alvarez. I mean, what a player this guy is. Absolute fantastic defensive midfielder. I would have him at the drop of a hat, John. I mean, yes, I do like Manu Kone as well. I think he's a great defensive midfielder. But this guy has all the attributes to be absolutely fantastic. He's done well for Ajax. He's done great for Mexico. I mean, John, what's your thoughts on Edson Alvarez?
This guy is a stellar player. He'd be perfect in the midfield. Like, he's got a market value of €35 million. It could cost a bit more money than that, Tony, as well. 12 appearances this season for the Eredivisie club, 0 goals, 2 assists. But he does get booked a lot. He's got 5 in the Eredivisie League, 2 yellow cards in Champions League, 6 appearances, 1 goal. And in the World Cup, 1 appearances, 0 goals as well. This guy is a complete midfielder. He can pass, he can tackle, he can make runs as well, and his holding position is fantastic. 6'2" he is, by the way. 3 international goals in 60 games. He's 25 years of age, just on 25, by the way. He is so highly rated, and I'll tell you what, I will not have any problems with this guy coming to Newcastle. He is absolutely fantastic, and he's just the perfect foil. Can make a difference, make our midfield solid. Bruno get advanced in midfield. Edson will just protect the back four. You want to call it that as well. But Tony, I like this player. I really do. You just mentioned Kone, by the way, for Mönchengladbach as well. That guy is a unit. Brilliant defensive midfielder as well.
There he is.
He's Premier League ready. And he's got a market value of around 40 million quid. I could be wrong. But one thing I'm going to say, right, he can tackle, he can pass. This guy is an absolute beast in the midfield, man. And again, if we can get either of those two, because I'm going to do the midfield transfers very soon, the 5 players going to get from midfield. And Manu Kone, I tell you what, this guy, he's got a market value of 25 million euros. Again, Mönchengladbach's going to ask for more. 14 appearances, 1 goal, and 1 assist this season. That's in the Bundesliga. And yeah, I tell you what, they do like in 7% goal participations, 93 starting 11, and he plays basically every single game. And defensive midfielder, central midfielder, he can also play as attacking midfielder as well. And again, I think they're going to ask for a lot of money. His contract ends in 20, if I can find it, he's born in France, by the way. His contract ends in 2025, so he's got another 2.5 years of contract still to run. So I don't think he's going to be easy to get rid of. But at the end of the day, Tony, if you put enough money for this guy, I think he'll come to the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, his proper name's Sadio Kone. But tell you what, John, he got an 8.1 SOFA score rating against Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, when Mönchengladbach won 4-2. So in that game, he played 88 minutes, scored 1 goal, 58 touches, accurate passes, 30 out of 39 passes were accurate at 77% accuracy. Long balls, he had 3 long balls, 2 of them were accurate, 2 shots on target, 1 dribble attempt, which was successful. Ground duels he won 8 out of 11 ground duels. He didn't win any aerial duels that day. He lost possession 12 times, was fouled twice. He'd done 2 fouls as well. And he made 1 interception, 5 tackles as well, John. So, I mean, this lad can play. And he's a terrific, he's terrific. And either him or Edson Alvarez, either one of them would make a huge difference. Corney, yes, he's younger at 21. Quite not the finished article. Nowhere near his peak. But again, bring the youngster at the club. He could be there for a long time. Edson Alvarez, 25. Not even old, nowhere near his peak yet. And an absolute baller. So either one would do a job, John, I would think. But yeah, I mean, guys, get your thoughts in. Who would you prefer? Would you prefer this guy on screen, Edson Alvarez? Or would you prefer Manu Corney? I mean, or would you not mind who we bring in? Get your thoughts in the chats, please, guys. Let's see what you actually think as well. They may not be gettable in January, but definitely next summer they're gettable. So we shall see. Coffee says, there are more sources for this news. Just checked. Yeah, thanks very much. Mighty Max says, all of this should have been cleared in the bin bits. It's just Russia and Qatar paid Blatter and Co. Big fat brown envelopes. Yeah, that's the sorry state of it. At the end of the day, they've paid out, and they've paid out for backhanders for money, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, what I want to talk about, John, is right. So we've had a lot of stoppage time in these World Cup games so far. England's game had a total of 24 minutes, 14 minutes in the first half, 10 minutes in the second half. Other games have had +6, +7, +8, and so on and so on. Obviously, when injuries are going down, the referees are stopping their watch, and they're letting because there were a couple of watches, so the other watch is still going, but they're stopping their watch on that one, and they're playing the time as it is on their watch. I mean, are you a fan of all this extra time they're playing, John? Do you think it's too much? I mean, or do you think it's correct that they're making the correct calls like this? And finally, would you have this sort of thing in the Premier League as well? So, first of all, what's your thoughts on all this extra stoppage time? Are they right the way they're doing it in this World Cup, John?
I just think it's ridiculous. I mean, where are they finding all these times from? I just don't know. Could it be time wasting? Well, they don't know. Is it because people are trying to be clever? I just don't get it at all whatsoever. I really don't. It's just absolutely shocking. I think now you got to play like the full 60 minutes before they can take into consideration, man. I think it's ridiculous, man. I mean, I just still can't fathom where these minutes are coming from. I don't know. Could be time wasting. It could be games in game time. It's got to be 60 minutes and over. It could be that. So where they getting it from? I just don't know.
I don't know how they're doing it, John, but it's just...
I can't work it out, man. No.
Tell you what, John, no. I mean, I'm looking at the Canada stats, right, against Belgium. So I'll give you the match stats so far. 53% possession to Belgium, 47 Canada. Belgium have had 7 shots in total and 2 on target, which have scored for 1 and 3 off target. Now, Canada's shots, John. This is their stats for shots. Canada, total shots, 21.
Wow.
On target with 3. Obviously, they missed the penalty. And off target with 11. Passes, 482 Belgium, 416 Canada. 1 clear-cut chance for Belgium, 2 for Canada. 3 corners for Belgium, 4 for Canada. And no offsides for Belgium, but 1 for Canada. Courtois made 3 saves to Canada's 1 save on their goalkeeper. I mean, John, 21 shots a goal from Canada against Belgium. Can you understand? Can you get your head around that? Because I can't. I mean, Canada was supposed to be one of the whipping boys, weren't they?
I can't believe that, man. It is absolutely crazy, man. 21 shots on goal. Are Belgium not bothered in the World Cup? That's another thing. Did he really want to be here because of what's going on? Have they taken their minds off things of what's going on as well? Or is Canada are that good, but the problem is they just cannot finish? That is their problem. But missing a penalty, I've cost them big style. But I think Canada's playing well. But the problem is, you've got to take your chances to come away. If you don't take your chances, then it's going to count for nothing, really. But they can go with the positives, go back in the training ground, and just finish on the finishing. That's all they need to do. Do that. I don't think Canada could go a long way, but you've got to take your chances against one of the best best nations in the world football, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mansell says, I would have either. They're both fantastic players, lads. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Or why not both, even? Alec Coffee says, the Korean team has 5 players with the name Kim, 2 players with the name Hwang, and 2 midfielders with Young and Young in their starting 11. Commentator's nightmare. Yeah. Okay. Kim. So Kim passes to Kim. Kim passes to Kim. Hwang Twang. Young to Young. Yeah, it's going to be a nightmare. I wouldn't want to be a commentator doing that game, but Hwang will be one of the players from Wolverhampton Wanderers, by the way, the one who scored 2 against us in our takeover season. Brill says, Mad to Coffee. Yeah, 3 players are named Hwang. Okay, Hwang. Sounds like an NK rocket, a North Korean rocket, says Mighty Mag. And Chris says, the referees have been told to add on 30 seconds for every substitution and add time for slow throw-ins, goal kicks, slow free kicks, just about everything you can think of. I suppose they want to keep the game flowing as well. So, yeah, I mean, yeah. Newcastle v Chelsea says, Gary, where on earth did that ref find 7 minutes from? I'll tell you where he found the 7 minutes from, Gary. He was trying to get Chelsea to score. That's why.
Exactly.
It didn't happen. So it backfired. It backfired on them big style. Amazingly, John, in this game between Belgium and Canada, we only have 5 minutes of stoppage time.
Wow.
But Belgium are going to, but according to the BBC, Belgium are going to have to work to every last second if they want these 3 points, because Canada are really, really going at them. So
they have to. You want to try and get something out of the game. Like, they don't have to win the game as long as you don't get beat.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
they're just throwing the kitchen sink, which I think is good. And but I think Belgium will probably just about close the game down.
Yeah, I think they will, John. I think
Belgium won.
Well, they should do, shouldn't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He closed the shop, and
yeah. So before we wrap up, guys, I did put a vote in 41 minutes ago, and I did see has everybody got their votes in. So I'm hoping everybody's got their votes in now. So anyway, well, I'll keep the vote there anyway till we're basically before we finish on here anyway. So at the moment, the voting is right for us to finish top. 33% of the vote. To finish in the top 4, 58% of the vote. 5th to 7th, 8% of the vote, and 8th to 12th, no percent. So the leading vote at the moment is that we'll finish in the top 4. Second is finishing first and winning the league title. And then third is 5th to 7th. So, John, so far the poll is saying we'll finish 58% of the vote is saying top 4 and 33% first. What's your thoughts on that?
I think top 4 will be realistic first this season. I'd love to win a title, but I'll be honest with you, I think top 4 will be realistic. I'll be happy finishing 4th this season. Do you know what I mean? I know Spurs are going to get strong, but if Newcastle can just finish 4th this season, I'll be really over the moon. and that's like when it's a trophy as well. Do you know what I mean? But I hope that we'll do it.
Yeah. Just going to see what's happening in the Belgian game. It's still 1-0, and there's one more. There's 1 minute left, and it says Canada Boss has a pained expression across his face. His players have given us everything, but they're heading for 0 points. And Belgium are playing keep ball and playing game management. So, I mean, I'm just wondering why, John. Why didn't Jonathan David take that penalty? Why Alphonso Davies?
Yeah, that's a strange one. That for a left back to take the penalty kicks, like, do you know what I mean? Jonathan David, I think it's a penalty taker. Lil, I don't understand why he should go over there and take it, because he probably would have scored. But oh man, it's because he bottled it again. But Alphonso Davies will say, right, you know what? I'm the main man. I'm one of the best players in the world. I'm going to take it. But very, very strange. And for what I've heard, is a very poor penalty, by the way. Very poor penalty.
It was, John. Yeah, it was. I saw it, and it was very poor.
Absolutely shocking, man.
Alan says, great work, lads. Thank you very much, Alan. Thank you indeed. I like coffee. Hazard had back passed to his goalkeeper, and the ref gave offside to Canada. Oh. Strange. How can that be offside if you've passed back to your goalkeeper? Don't get that one. But
don't get it at all.
Must be. So I'm just going to check out on this vote again, but no change on the vote. I think. Just double check it now. Oh, hang on. Put that there. Okay. Let's just check it. No change on the vote. So that is how the voting is ending. So I've ended the poll now. But so 58% is the winner on seeing we'll finish in the top 4, followed by 33% seeing we'll finish top and win the Premier League. 5th to 7th is 8%, and bottom of the list is 8th to 12th. Nobody's voted on that one. But I thought I'd just put a few different options in because it's better to have in there. Chris says Canada has more shots than what Spain had. Yeah, just couldn't put the ball away, could they? Just can't finish. They're going to have some training with shooting practice, I think. Gary says, I just have a gut feeling we can win the league this season, lads. I mean, we can dream, you know what I mean? There's no harm in getting ourselves carried away and having a bit of hope inside, but just don't get yourselves too hopeful and then it doesn't come off. So, but, we can always live in hope and we can always have them dreams. And there's no harm in us getting carried away within ourselves as well, because remember where we were last season, where we are this season, 2 different places. Last season, we were struggling at the bottom of the league.
Yeah.
Match week 16, we were second bottom on 10 points. Fast forward a year, match week 16, we are now 3rd on 30 points. 20 points better off than last season. Progress. Huge progress, guys.
Absolutely.
Huge progress. And where we are now, absolutely huge progress. I mean, so guys, so if you like what you see, then please do hit the like button. It really does help the channel go up the search settings and is make the channel more visible and easier to find for people who are first time to come to it. And also, if you haven't yet, then please hit the subscribe button. That's free to do so and helps my channel grow. Also, hit the bell notification. That will tell you when a pre-recorded video becomes online or I come on live as well, and any upcoming shows as well. They will notify you everything that happens on the YouTube. Before I go as well, guys, I mean, I've had a few people messaging me and asking why they can't donate on the channel and things like that. It's because with YouTube, you've got to get to either 1,000 subscribers or 4,000 watch hours to get, so people can have a super chat or a donation. The same, I've had people asking why I haven't got a membership going, and it's for the same reason. I haven't got a membership on at the moment because I've got to wait for that sort of thing. I mean, when I do get to that, I can do membership, and then that'll be great because we can have monthly prize draws, things like that. So there'll be lots to look forward to. I mean, if people do want to donate the channel, they're more than welcome to. I've got a QR code here which I can pop on screen. You can donate via that. If you don't have to donate. I'm not saying people have to donate. I'm just saying it's just when I've had people messaging me, but you're more than welcome to if you want to. But at the moment, like I say, I can't have members because I've got to wait till I get to at least 1,000 subscribers or 4,000 watch hours. But yeah, just thought I'd let you know on that one. But thank you very much for everybody who comes on, everybody who subscribed. I mean, absolutely brilliant. The channel is going up and up and up, and my next target's 150 subscribers, so that'd be absolutely fantastic. I'm only 15 away, so 15 more subscribers, please, and that gets me at that magical 150 mark, and 65 away from the magical 200 mark as well. But remember, I've only been going for just over 4 weeks, 5 weeks this Saturday, so I don't think it's been doing too bad. I think it's been fantastic, and I'm glad everybody who comes on enjoys the content I'm putting out there. I'm trying my best to put as much as I can out there, and trying to put the best content I can out there. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, because I'm not at work, I'm going to bring out another World Cup breakfast again. So there'll be another morning edition of the World Cup breakfast on Saturday and Sunday. So you can join me again for the World Cup breakfast, and we'll have a roundup of the World Cup matches as they have happened from the last few days. And obviously on Saturday morning, we'll look back at England's game on Friday night, with hopefully 3 points in the bag and a decent goal return. So the World Cup breakfast will be back on Friday at, I was trying to work out what time it is now. So it's Friday, 5:30 p.m. Please join me as I will be doing the warm-up show for England versus USA. If John's around, he's more than welcome to join me, but I know he's traveling to Newcastle, so he may not be able to. But if he can, then that's fantastic. But I'll be doing a warm-up show where I'll have the lineups of the two teams, and yeah, absolutely fantastic. That'll be coming on, and then if I don't do a reaction after the game, I'll probably do one maybe Saturday evening, do a review of the game, and see if I can get somebody else to come on as well on Saturday. Also, at some point, I'm going to have Sefton Mag coming on with me. So Russ is going to come on. That's his name, Russ, by the way. He's not on tonight, I think he's at work. But he's going to talk about northwestmags.com, the website. It was helping me with a sponsor as well. So northwestmags.com he's going to tell you all about the website, give you more detail of it than what I can really give you. I can give you so much, but he can give you a lot more. And also what he's going to do as well, he's going to talk about his experiences as a Newcastle fan, how long he's supported the club, his ups and downs of being a Newcastle United fan. So that's going to be absolutely fantastic to hear from him as well. And I believe at some point as well, he's going to do the same with John as well, and hopefully get on John's channel one day. And he says, hopefully John might invite me on one day and do a show with him as well. I mean, he's a lovely lad, is Russ. So, yeah, so he'll be coming on some point. We're not sure when, but I will let you know, and I'll put the details out there anyway. And before we go wrap up, I'll just go through some comments. So I like coffee. Alfonso Davis never taken a penalty in his career, while Jonathan David scored 9 of the 12 he's taken. There you go. Well, yeah, that's an own goal from Canada straight away then, isn't it? Top 4 for me this season, Mighty Mag. Even 5th is out of this world. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Jonathan David's awful, says Foxy. God. I like coffee says, bye, John, Tony, and all. And he says, woo, 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 breakfast. I like my favorite. Yeah, I don't have my breakfast. To a lot of people is probably boring because it's not like a fried breakfast, even though it's a picture of it on my thing. But what I have is I have fruit and fiber every morning because I've lost 1 stone 8 pounds so far. Coffee says, I'll try and be there. Chris says, England are going to have USC on toast for their World Cup breakfast. And Ali Coffee says, are John and Tony attend the women's game at the weekend? I'm not, unfortunately. I mean, John's up there. I don't know if you're going. Are you, John, to the women's game? It's only £3
not,
I think, or something. No?
I'd love to, but I will be able to, man. They've got other things to do with me, lass.
Yeah.
I would.
Matty Max says, cheers, John, Tony, and everyone in the chat. Being great, guys. Lovely. Thank you very much. And cheers. Hey, Tony and John. Hope you're both well. Sorry for being late. That's no problem, mate, but I'll reach the show. Yeah, absolutely, mate. No worries at all. I like coffee. What's John's favourite breakfast?
Oh, English breakfast, of course.
What, a full English, John?
Yes, 100%.
All the trimmings?
Eh?
What, with all the trimmings?
All the trimmings, mate. You name it, you've got it, man.
Round of toast with it as well?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Everything, baby. Everything. Do it properly, man.
Oh, yeah, you got to, yeah. Okay. I'd done a cooked breakfast in my Ninja air fryer, and that was absolutely lovely because there's no fat or nothing on it. It's all taken out, isn't it? So it's absolutely, it's beautiful. Best breakfast I've ever done. And I've done them before in like oven and things like that, but air fryer, even better, John. See? Get great tips on you as well. But I'm no Delia Smith, by the way. Or Prudy or whoever else. I'm Mary Berry, by the way. Gary says, great show, lads. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, mate. Although I do make a nice Victoria sponge cake, by the way, as I've been told many a time. And I like coffee says, I'm hungry now. Well, go and have some food then. I like coffee then. I've made him hungry now, so he's going to go off to have some food. And Chris says, great chat, lads. Thank you so much, guys. And Chesry says, me too as well. He's hungry as well. Yeah, so guys, thank you for coming on tonight. Yes, it's been a great show. Times flew as well. We've been on just over 2 hours. Times flew. So if you like what you see, please hit the like button. It really does help the channel up the search settings and makes people find the channel more easily. And also, if you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so. Helps my channel grow. And also the bell notification lets you know when a pre-recorded video goes on or I come on live as well. And any upcoming shows, that will let you know when they come on as well. Are we having a Christmas morning special? I'm not really sure yet. I'm not sure at the moment. Sure. No. I'll probably put one out Christmas Eve, but whether I do on Christmas, I'm not sure at the minute. Because my other half, she's got a new job to go to, so she may have to work Christmas Day. So if she does, then I may do a Christmas Day special. But if not, I might even just do a pre-recorded video and put that out there, maybe. But at the moment, watch this space. That's all I can say to you at the moment as well. So yeah, thanks guys for coming on. And as I said, at the moment, obviously because I can't do any super chats on YouTube, stickers or whatever they are in memberships at the moment, until I reach that magical number of either 4,000 watch hours or 1,000 subscribers. But hopefully I'll get to that one day, and then we can have members, and then we'll have regular monthly draws as well. But if you want to, you can donate, but you can do it via that way. There we go. That's a QR code on screen. Totally up to you. I'm not pushing anybody to make any donations whatsoever. So it's totally voluntary. So yeah, guys. So we've come to the end of the show now, and it's been a great show. And all I can say is goodbye for now, and we'll see you on the next show. Thank you very much. Oh, before we go, where can I find you on your socials, John?
Usual every time, but it'll be Twitch, John Sinclair TV, Facebook, John Sinclair TV, John Sinclair 50 Lord Cases on Insta. Also, you can find us on YouTube, John Sinclair TV, and you can find us on social media, John_NDFC42, on Facebook as well. And just give it a like, give us a subscribe if you have not done so. And I basically do everything really, but I'm hoping to do the watch along very, very soon. I've decided I will do a watch along soon. When that's going to be, I don't know. But we'll just see.
Yeah. Okay. And everybody knows where they can find me. So that's absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much, John, for coming on tonight.
You're welcome,
And
mate. I
for now,
appreciate it, man.
take care, everybody. I'll see you backstage. But for now, goodbye, everybody else. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.